your fourth criterion for what makes a top 10 wide receiver, he has those in droves. Like the fact that he has to overcome like 10 quarterbacks and 9 quarterbacks, whatever the hell I think it's legitimately 9 quarterbacks in his like 3-year career. He's actually even had to overcome all that and just has a turnstile and he still produces.
Terry McLaurin is right there at number 5, and I also have above him in my top 5 wide receivers that I picked so far. And how I pick my top 5, just to give you some criteria, is what have you done for me lately? What is your future outlook? And what is your skill set versus what adversity you had to go through on your team? Was it your fault why you put it up production, or were you just not getting that many looks? Terry McLaurin's number 5, and DJ Moore was number 4 on my list. And people are like, "Are you crazy?" But,
I like it. It's bold picks.
It's bold. But I had Cooper Kupp in my top 5, and people thought I was crazy last year.
Oh, so I love Cooper. So for me, my hot take is Cooper Kupp, number 1 wide receiver. I love Cooper Kupp. I think he's a beast. I think Cooper Kupp's up there. Justin Jefferson's up there for sure. Devonte Adams, obviously. Tyreek Hill has some special skills. I love these wide receivers. Like, I'm going to be objective. I'm definitely a Washington fan. I'm going to keep Terry slightly out of the top 10. Hopefully he'll make it this year. I just think that he needs to become more dominant. Like, I love him. But your fourth criterion for what makes a top 10 wide receiver, he has those in droves. Like the fact that he has to overcome like 10 quarterbacks and 9 quarterbacks, whatever the hell I think it's legitimately 9 quarterbacks in his like 3-year career. He's actually even had to overcome all that and just has a turnstile and he still produces. And that just shows you that he is so talented that he can pretty much do whatever it takes. Like he can run deep. He's a 4-3 guy. He has a great route running. He's tough. He catches it over the middle. He can play out in the boundary. He can be that true X wide receiver. He can be in the slot. He can do all that stuff. So I do love Terry McLaurin. For me, top 10 is like elite company, and he can get there, especially with Carson Wentz. I just want to see it. I'm the kind of guy where it's like, give me that 1,300 yards, 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, then I'll give you that top 10. That's kind of where I'm at, but he's right there.
Yeah, I think for the next show, you'll have to name your top 10 quarterbacks, but I think also when I'm considering my criteria, it's like that bias in the back of my head too, that I have to think about who they have at running back. Because the running back game has changed. Since remember when we were little boys, it was just like one running back, the Dorsey Levens of the world, you know what I'm saying?
Guys, 100%,
yeah. And now it's like two-headed monster, have an Alvin Kamara type that can catch and run the ball, and now you got to watch out for both. Like with Terry McLaurin, I mean, he has Antonio Gibson. I still wouldn't put Antonio Gibson in an elite category.
I agree,
but Justin Jefferson has Dalvin Cook. Joe Mixon is there in Cincinnati. Cooper Kupp is like one of the only ones that you could put there that doesn't have an elite running back. So when we started talking about like all these wide receivers, I'm like, you got to consider that they're not the only threat on the field that's able to catch the ball. Terry McLaurin is in a class of his own. And
he's the only threat. They know he's going to Terry McLaurin, and he still does it every single time. I mean, I love Terry McLaurin. I just like, he's right on the cusp. He's like number 11 or like I gotta sit down and write it out, but like I don't want to crown him up. He's there, man. Like, he's my favorite player on the team. He's phenomenal. But like he has like 6 touchdowns a season or something along those lines. I want to see that 10, 12. I want him to kind of hit it a little bit, and he might do that this year. And he has all the opportunity in the world. The only thing that could maybe set him back is Washington has a lot of weapons. I think Jahan Dotson is going to eat this year. I think he's going to have a good season, 40, 50 catches this year. I think is a pretty safe floor for him. Curtis Samuel, we'll see how well he develops. Diamond Brown's going to have a couple big plays. Logan Thomas is going to be pretty good tight end as well. And they have Cole Turner, who is like, he was a late round pick. I think 6th round pick that we have is like a 6'5".
And that was weird for him because he had a really good season.
Yeah, he had an awesome season with Carson Strong in Nevada. He was an awesome player, and it's like it's stacked. It's where it's like I don't want to say stacked, but there's a lot of opportunity for Washington to be good on offense. So we'll see. I hope he gets. I want him to get the contract that he deserves. I want him to be a $24-25 million guy. I don't mind overpaying for Terry McLaurin because he's a team builder. He basically. In that picture, you see that little captain patch on his chest. Like he leads a lot. You don't see that a lot
for receivers, man.
You don't. Even as a second, third year guy, I think he got in his second year as a wide receiver, captain of the team. When the team does poorly, they pull him out in front. He answers the tough questions. With the team doing very well, he's out in front of a mic doing the same thing. Never controversial. He's
not a diva.
Yeah, not a diva. Right now, he's actually he's not participating in team drills during OTAs, but he has been going to meetings and workouts. He's everything you want in a player. So I'm not going to not like. I kind of feel guilty not saying he's top 10, but maybe that's my strict criteria because it's a wide receiver league in the NFL. I mean, they're stacked right now, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'll give you my top 5 wide receivers.
Okay.
So of course I had Terry at 5.
Mm-hmm.
I had DJ Moore at number 4, and I could tell he took a big leap up when Christian McCaffrey got hurt for the year, and he still had a great season with Sam Darnold, with Cam Newton.
DJ Moore's on Maryland guy, dude. I love DJ Moore. He's awesome.
Yeah. And then I had number 3 was Jamar Chase. Just his talent is through the roof, and the way he just made Marlon Humphrey in that Ravens game, he made him look silly. He made a lot of people look silly, but especially that game.
Yeah.
Number 2 was Devonte Adams, one of my favorite players in the league by far, and number 1 was Cooper Kupp for me.
Cooper Kupp my number 1 too. I love Cooper Kupp.
So that was my top 5. As far as getting into my top 10, I'm sure I would throw a Stephon Diggs in there and maybe a Justin Jefferson.